Good morning, all. My dear friends, welcome all of you. Let us continue our journey in the world of patents, rules, etc. Okay, so while continuing our journey, we have come across a very significant term, that is, just I am reading the spelling, termination, that is called termination. So we will discuss a lot about the significances of this term. Okay, until now, friends, we have discussed in our part 1 that we have discussed about all the forms starting from form number 1 and ending at form number 10, along with all the relevant sections and rules. In part 2, we have discussed about the form starting from form number 11 and ending at form number 20 with all the relevant sections and rules. And so now it's the turn for part 3, that will consist of, or that is consisting of form number 21 up to form number 30. Okay, so now today we will try to find out what is the base of form number 21 and its relevant sections and rules. So here, friends, just take a look here, or just listen the sound, listen the music of nature. Okay, the music is created by the fireflies in the jungle, and it also enlightens the darkness of the jungle, friends. So with this beautiful thought, let us proceed with this word termination, which controls the main keyword of the form 21, the relevant section and the relevant rule, and how this happens, that we will discuss. Okay, so let us proceed. So friends, we will start with form number 21. Okay, the relevant section is section number 94 and the rule is 102, and specifically rule 102 sub rule 1. Okay, so the title for section 94 is termination of compulsory license. The title for rule number 102 is application for termination of compulsory license under section 94, and form number 21 has the title request for termination of compulsory license. So friends, we can see here a word is uttered repeatedly. Okay, that means form number 21 deals with, we can say, the primary word here is compulsory license, which you can find in the title of form number 21, in the title for section 94, and in the title for rule number 102. Okay, so the primary keyword is here compulsory license, and the adjective, we can say, or what is happening, actually what is happening with this primary word is determined by the secondary word. Okay, so what is the secondary word? That means what is the exact function, or what is being done with the primary word, that is defined by the secondary word. So this is, we can say, when we read when we read the title for section 94, this is termination of compulsory license. That means we can say what is happening, termination is happening. Okay, so we can say here that and this word, this termination word, you can find in all the three, we can say, in the form number, in the section number, and in the rule number as well. Okay, that's why we can say that the secondary keyword here is termination. Okay, as we can see that in the title we find termination of compulsory license in the title for section 94, and for title for form number 21 we can find request for termination of compulsory license. Okay, also for the title of rule number 102 we can find application for termination of compulsory license under section 94. So easily a linkage can be set up between the three. Okay, so just remember the primary word compulsory license and the secondary word is termination. Fine. Okay, let us proceed. So friends, let us pick a rule of the Patents Rules 2003 as amended by Amendment Rule 2021. Okay. So the specific rule that I have taken today is this is the relevant rule for form number 21. I have taken rule number 102, that is rule 102, and this comes from chapter 13, which is compulsory license and revocation of patent. Okay, and also friends, I would like to tell you one thing, that rule 102 has the title application for termination of compulsory license under section 94. Okay, fine, let us proceed for the details then. Now I have taken some keywords or the key phrases from the specific sub-rules of rule number 102. Okay, so it has about 7 sub-rules. So we will go by one. Fine. So the keyword for subrule 1 is evidence. The key phrase for subrule 2 is a copy of the application and evidence. The key phrase for subrule 3 is objection along with evidence. The keyword or the key phrase for subrule 4 is except with, and the key phrase for subrule 5 is fix a date and time, date and the time. The key phrase for subrule 6 is hearing in opposition proceedings. And at last, the key phrase for subrule 7 is issue an order. So friends, please try to remember these keywords or the key phrases, and by remembering them, you can very easily recall the gist of the specific subrules of the rule number 102. Okay, and I have picked as per my intellect, as per my convenience. You can pick your own. Fine. Okay, let us proceed. Subrule 1. This says an application for termination of compulsory license under section 94 subsection 1 shall be made in form 21 by the patentee or any other person deriving title or interest in the patent. The application shall be accompanied by the evidence in support of the application. So very simple statement friends, nothing to explain here. Just remember that the application shall be accompanied by the evidence in support of the application. And the required section is section 94, whose title is termination of compulsory license, and required form number is form 21 as we are discussing the same. The title is request for termination of compulsory license. Fine. So let us proceed for the second one. Subrule 2. The applicant shall serve a copy of the application and evidence on the holder of the compulsory license and shall inform the controller the date on which the service has been effected. Fine. So here the keyword or the key phrase is a copy of the application and evidence. Okay. And the secondary keyword we can say is the date. So just remember this thing, that the applicant shall serve he will serve. He will serve a copy of the application along with the evidence on the holder of the compulsory license. Okay, and he or she shall inform the controller the date on which the service has been affected. Fine. Okay. Subrule 3. The holder of the compulsory license may file his objection along with evidence, if any, to the application. Okay, within 1 month from the date of receipt of the application and evidence by him to the controller, and serve a copy thereof to the applicant. Okay, that means if the holder of the compulsory license has some objections, he can object. Okay, so he may file his objection along with the evidence to the. Okay, that means if he has some objections to the application, then he may file his objection along with the evidence within 1 month from the date of receipt of the application and evidence. Okay, receipt of the application along with the evidence. Okay, so whom he shall serve that, or he or she shall report to is the controller. That means he or she will report to the controller and serve a copy thereof to the applicant. Fine. Okay. Subrule 4. No further evidence or statement shall be filed by either party except with special leave of or on requisition by the controller. Fine. That means no further evidence or statement is filed by either party. That means either the either the applicant or the holder of the compulsory license. Okay. So no further evidence or statements shall be filed by either party except, that means the exception is with the special leave of or on requisition by the controller. In these two cases, either or cases, some evidence or statement can be filed. Otherwise, it is not required. Fine. Subrule 5 says, on completion of the above proceedings, the controller shall forthwith fix a date and the time for the hearing of the case and shall give the parties not less than 10 days notice of such hearing. Okay, that means on completion of such proceedings, the controller fixes a date and the time for the hearing of the case and it gives the parties not less than 10 days notice of such hearing. Fine. Subrule 6. The procedure specified in subrules 2 to 5 of Rule 62 so far as may be applied to the procedure for hearing under this rule as they apply to the hearing in opposition proceedings. So here the key phrase is hearing in opposition proceedings, and as we know friends, the title for Rule 62 is hearing. Okay, so it is mentioned here that the procedure specified in the subrules 2 to 5 of Rule 62 apply to the procedure for hearing under this rule as they apply to the hearing in opposition proceedings. Fine. Okay. Subrule 7. If the controller decides to terminate the compulsory license, he shall forthwith issue an order giving terms and conditions, if any, of such termination and serve copies of the order to both the parties. Okay. That means if the controller decides to terminate the compulsory license based on the situation and all the criteria, then he shall forthwith issue an order with all the terms and conditions, okay, of such termination, and he or she serves copies of the order to both the parties. Okay, whoever has applied and whoever has objected. Fine. So I hope it is pretty clear now. So friends, please go through each and every sub rule of rule number 102 and try to get the essence of each and every sub rule. Yeah, please try to uh, correlate this rule along with the section 94 and form number 21. Okay friends, happy learning. The reference is Patents Act 1970 as amended by Amendment Act 2005 and the Patents Rules 2003 as amended by Amendment Rules 2021. Okay friends, thank you all for watching my video and listening to me. Okay, so please like, share and subscribe the channel, and please put down your compliments, comments and queries in the comment box. Thank you. God bless you. Stay safe, stay blessed. Jai Hind.